Economics can make good politics. I think that's a very positive direction, though comparative politics does play a role, and the balance, I suppose, has to be found of how to carry on making the economic change and carrying the people along with that. Now it's my pleasure to invite Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, Deputy Leader of the BJP in the Rajya Sabha, to share his thoughts with us.
Mr. Shriram, Mr. Nayan, Mr. Ahluwalia, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether good economics makes good politics or not. But if we need growth, which I understand must be the concern of any polity, more so a democratic polity, then we need good economics. As I see, we in India squandered a great opportunity for long years debating as to whether or how the bread shall be distributed. But we rarely concentrated as to how the number of bread needs to be enlarged. Roti kaise bate, is par bahut bahas hui. And perhaps the same argument ultimately also was in the focus when we go for an economy away from American or Soviet model. As someone very rightly pointed out, that we went for the beauty of capitalism and the equity of socialism without the violence of communism. And what ultimately happened, the license control permit Raj came to occupy a strangle-like hold over the giant entrepreneurship of India. If you produced more, you suffered. If you underperformed, you suffered. If you exported more, you suffered. If you imported less, you suffered. And if you went into area not earmarked for you, then you also suffered. Mr. Muntek Singh Ahluwalia, I have a very serious difference with you. We went for reform under compulsion, not by choice. And it is not a coincidence that 1991 and the seminal earthquaking instance of collapse of Soviet Union took place around the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very clear. I am a very considered view that good governance is the link between good economics and good politics. Let us ask certain questions. We need reform, yes. We need no policy paralysis, yes. We need a fair, stable regime, yes. But nothing would materialize unless delivery is not fair and proper. In the absence of good governance, and I don't need to elaborate what good governance means before this august audience, there must be a stable policy regime. There must be a leadership who can exercise authority, commanding allegiance and delivery both. The decisions must be taken on merits and not upon extraneous, collateral, and at times corrupt considerations. Those are the essence of good governance. Now let me reflect upon four contemporary issues as to how, in the absence of good governance, growth becomes a casualty. Mr. Ahluwalia, you talked about the energy sector. I had the privilege to be a minister in Vajpayee government, including handling coal mines and information broadcasting and other sectors. Electricity Act 2003, brilliant act. Generation was delicensed. Extraordinary concept with widest consultation like open access. 64% of India's power need coal-based. We made a mess in coal block allocations. And what happened? We have seen. I remember I pushed for a law to lift the cap on this whole captive clause in the Coal Mine Act of 1973. Allow it to be taken for commercial consideration in a fair manner by all of you. That bill is pending for the last 8 years in the Rajya Sabha. I personally followed that it should be cleared by the standing committee. I am deliberately emphasizing upon issues on which there is no divide politically speaking. And as far as infrastructure is concerned, there is no divide in the country, left or right or center or backward or forward. Second issue, National Highway. An extraordinary success. Mr. Ahluwalia, you talked about people need to know reform, and they saw that once a national highway, either Golden Quadrilateral or North, South, East, West, passed through their land, the land became costly. They experienced the benefit. Such an extraordinary success came almost to a stage of collapse when the National Highway Authority started getting mired in CBI raids, corruption in the allocations of contract and whatnot. Today, most of the big players are in a mood to exit. A great success story coming to a knot. India's real estate sector, another big area of growth. But what happened? In the land acquisition, in the change of land use, right in the NCR area, a lot of illegality, nepotism, irregularities was done, and today the entire growth area of real sector has come under serious suspicion. And fourth, obviously being a member of JPC, I cannot speak much because I'm examining it also, regardless of what is happening in the JPC. But telecom sector, a big visible symbol of growth of the country. Because I had the privilege to be a member of that group of ministers in the Vajpayee government, which led to the entire opening of sector, unified licensing, convergence of technology. What happened? In a moment of few years, India showed the world intelligence, investment, employment, and earning of revenue. But you needed one man to manage the department, and havoc was created. And this growth story has come to a knot that even my good friend, the great Sunil Mittal, has to knock the Supreme Court for reasons which we are yet to understand. Today, people are not coming to purchase the spectrum. The growth story, I cannot say over, but under serious doubt. Therefore, good governance is indeed very important. And I repeat, good governance is the key link between good economics and good politics. But let me go on the positive side. As a political activist, right from my student days, I come from Bihar. We had a politics in Bihar that merely go for social justice and people will keep you electing and re-electing. But today, good politics is emerging under pressure of people, popular pressure. And that is indeed a very positive development. And we need to ask today, ladies and gentlemen, why is it that amidst all the gloom of uncertain global atmosphere, whatnot, there are states after states which are registering a growth record of 10% plus for the last so many years, in spite of a national growth rate of 5% minus. The difference is good governance, where entrepreneur and you people trust them that they will stand by and you deliver. And Mr. Ahluwalia, I am sorry, Delhi case will debate separately. But why is it that states like Gujarat and now Madhya Pradesh have promised to the people 24/7 power, including 8 hours to the farmers, without raising any tariff? They went by proper management of the electricity boards, including strengthening distribution system. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am very clear about one thing. People of the country are beginning to recognize performance. Those who perform are being rewarded. Those who don't are being shown the door. And that is a very good development, because we're very proud of our democracy. And if performance beyond other consideration of, yes, populism would be important. But those who are in politics, I wish I was not the only politician left here. I will not consider Mr. Ahluwalia as a part of our clan at all. I wish the 2 chief ministers were here. But we need to understand that populism would be important, would be relevant, only you have money in the kitty. And if you need money in the kitty, you have to permit growth, enlarge the cake, so that the country has a reservoir of pool available to do that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I always say that we who are in politics owe it to posterity to usher in good economics to the vehicle of good politics. This India 65%, 35 and below, this aspirational India needs something more for us, and that is our obligation to the posterity. And how we do it? Yes, we need the boat to ride the tide, as a very distinguished speaker, I'm told, spoke here. But with the greatest respect to him, the people of the country need the boat of good governance to ride over the tide. And it's equally important that the captain of that boat must be strong, must have the authority to steer through all the turbulent course in a river or a sea we are talking about. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, what is my final take? My final take is very clear. The inherent potential of this country is waiting to explode. Are we going to give them a fillip or going to cage it? The choice is ours. If we are not going to become a facilitator, at least we should not become roadblocker. And for that to happen, it is very important that we have heard Honorable the Prime Minister who spoke yesterday. Good. The diagnosis of ailment is correct. What is important is to prescribe the right medicine. And the right medicine is, ladies and gentlemen, walk the talk with authority, with command, and with integrity. Thanks a lot.